Just hold still.
That hurts!
If you'd hold still, it wouldn't hurt as much.
Well, if you hadn't have run away, this wouldn't have happened.
If you hadn't frightened me, I wouldn't have run away.
I fell in love with the script as soon as I read it in the auditions, and I totally identified with the character. I mean, she was so much like me, it was weird. Bella's strong-willed, quirky, you know, the bookworm to feeling odd.
Odd? Where would you get an idea like that?
Oh, I don't know. It's just that I'm not sure I fit in here.
Mostly up until then, princesses had been sort of the downtrodden Snow White, Cinderella mold, and Belle was sort of destined for greater things than her surroundings.
I identified with it. I'm usually not confident auditioning, but when I auditioned for this, I just knew it was my part. And I think out of all my years in show business, that was the only time I actually really felt it in my soul that it was my part.
There must be more than this provincial life.
Paige was a great voice to work with, you know, a fantastic singer and a fantastic actress. And I had pictures of her, you know, on my desk, but I really used her more as just sort of as performance rather than real look. It was so great, it was so honest.
You know, we share the part. I felt like I shared the part with James Baxter and Mark Henn. We were all Belle.
The cliche is to say, well, we're actors with pencils. It's the same way a live-action actor would approach a role that they do. For me, it's about getting into the character, understanding their role in the story, who that character is, what their dreams are, what their flaws are, what their strengths are. How would I maybe react to something? And that's just part of the acting craft of putting a performance together that most of the animators, you know, go through it.
They're so brilliant, these artists, you know, and they had the cameras on us, so a lot of the, you know, the little things like the hair in the face, which I had at the time, you know, I was pushing aside. These little mannerisms, the animators, of course, grabbed onto it and embellished it. And it was funny, you know, when my sisters first saw the film, and they just started laughing because they said, that's like you.
Wait! Take me instead.
You would take his place?
The voice of a character and the look of the character are so married together. And sometimes the voice comes first, and you picture the character. In this case, the design of him came first. And then I was like, okay, who's going to be the voice? And I remember the directors had recorded 3 different people, and they wouldn't tell me who was on it. And I took that home, and I was doing dishes and listening to each one of these voices, and I already had in my head what the beast looks like. And like the first one, I was like, no. The second one, I was like, no. The third one came on there, I was like, wow, that's really him. Like, there was this kind of this buttery bass voice.
I've never felt this way about anyone.
And a gentleness, though. I really liked the gentle quality and the sincerity. And so I said, well, this is number 3. And they said, yeah, well, that's Robby Benson. It's like, what? Teen magazine guy from back then? I mean, I just didn't relate to it.
A lot of people were surprised when I got the role, but that's because they didn't understand that if ever there was a role written for me, it's the role of the Beast.
So, you've come to stare at the beast, have you?
Honestly, I kind of get this guy, unfortunately. He has a temper, he says what's on his mind, he gets in trouble, and I would close my eyes and I could become this character in a matter of seconds. It just was so easy.
Do you realize what you could have done?
Jeffrey Katzenberg did not want me to interact with Glen Keane at all. He didn't want Glen Keane to come to any sessions.
Because he was afraid that I would start to draw the beast like Robby Benson, and he would lose the ugly beastness because Robby's a handsome guy, you know, and a heartthrob.
Get out!
No!
Get out!
Robby certainly supplied the whole momentum for performance, the thinking, the feeling that I'm trying to get up on the screen when I draw. He's a great actor.
And Glen's an actor too, because when he draws, he's acting. And his ideas were magnificent.
I have to give a lot of credit in terms of the Beast character to Glenn Keane and the soul that Robbie Benson as an actor brought to that character. You come away from the film where you fall in love with the soul of the person.
In the world of animation, they work one character at a time. But there came a point where Paige and I wanted to work off one another. We thought that there were certain scenes that we could do better if we were working together. And it was fantastic.
Yes, that was a wonderful thing. And it just gave it a spontaneity, and the directors encouraged us to improvise when we wanted to. And there's a couple moments in there, you know, Robbie was so brilliant. I mean, he's a writer too, so he would come up with some really clever stuff, and I just roll with it. You know, when Belle's reading to him in the library was a moment where we were kind of ad-libbing on that. It ended up in the film.
Well, here, why don't you read it to me?
It's just been so long.
Well, here, I'll help you. Let's start here.
Here. Okay. 12?
2.
2. I knew that.
I find the fact that I'm a part of Beauty and the Beast, and it's not just a part of my resume. It's something that I guess makes up the fabric of who I am.
I just feel so blessed that I had that experience in my career, because a lot of people will never experience something that's that, I hate to use the word magical, but it was magical.
It really holds a very special place in my heart.
Belle, it's me.
It is you.